Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today for Yoga for Beekeepers. I am Lacey and Grayo, coming to you from the Upper Peninsula at Be Wise Farms. While we move today, at any moment, if there is pain, please come out of the pose. If there is discomfort, I invite you to breathe. And if we are working with muscles we don't often work with or explore, if we are new to tapping in and getting in touch with our bodies in a different way, we're going to experience discomfort. And it's that time that our breath becomes so very important. And that is here on the mat, here washing dishes, here re-roofing, or in the apiary, right? Our breath is so important to be aware of. And if you experience any pain, please come out of that pose. Today in Yoga for Beekeepers, we're going to talk about how the body moves in the apiary, how the muscles are moving in the apiary, how our breath works in the apiary, and how all of these things create an interaction and a connection with your bees. So practice anywhere. Practice on a chair. Practice leaning up against something, up against a wall. Use props, whatever you need to get into that space, body, breath, and bees. We're going to start in the feet. Take a moment to stand or sit. If you're sitting, just ground the feet in. If you're standing, take a moment to stand. We're not locking the knees. We have a slight bend into them, just a slight bend. And find yourself in a rocking motion. Find the toes, find the heels, find the toes, find the heels. Maybe just tilt to the left for a moment, tilt to the right. And then start to increase the breath as we're doing this. Just a little rock, a deep breath or two. If you're sitting on a chair, allow the feet, just lift up the toes. Lift up the heels. If you're standing, lift up the heels, come up onto the toes. Find the feet. They are our grounding, our place of balance, our place of starting that balance. Bend into the knees just a little bit. As we stand, the bottom drops down, the knees bend slightly, not going over the toes. Just a little rock, a little bend, right? Just a little movement. Exhale as we bend, just slightly. Inhale as we lift up. Bend, exhale, inhale, press away. A little rock. Nice deep breath. And then let the arms come down to the side of the body. Take a moment to lift up the shoulders and allow them to draw down the back. Naturally, not a force, not a pressure or a push. Just let them fall. Find those feet once again. Maybe just lift up the toes for a moment, plant them back down. Inhaling and exhaling. Allow the breath to find some depth. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last breath, inhale and exhale. There are two main areas of the body that I always go over because they are vitally important to the rest of our structure when we're moving, especially when we're moving heavy objects. One is the psoas muscle. The psoas muscle runs from the lumbar area all the way down to the groin area. So it actually is the muscle that connects the lower and the upper body. This muscle is responsible quite often for tight backs, tight lower backs, and a lot of pain in the lower back because as we move, as we do some of these movements, this muscle gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and we end up moving in this direction. So lengthening it out can help so much in how in the type of strength that we have out in the apiary. The second is the pelvic floor, and the pelvic floor is comprised of, I think of it as this very full bowl of muscles that sits right at the base of the upper half of the body. It contains the lower part of the spine, at the very base of the spine, where the urethra is and where the genitals are. And this whole area is a bowl of muscles. This bowl of muscles sits right below those three areas. For just a few breaths, just to get in touch with it, draw it up, lift through the pelvic floor, and we will inevitably feel that lower abdomen become active. In this moment, as we are drawing up the pelvic floor, lifting it, it's a muscle, it's going to become tired. So take a break when you need to take a break, let it go. But as you are engaging it and taking those deep breaths, also for a moment, notice the thighs. If the knees are folding in toward one another, ensure that the thighs are active. This means that we're engaging the thigh muscles and we're drawing them up toward the psoas, toward the core, toward the pelvic floor. Right? We're drawing them up. Knees are moving away, thighs are active, and we're engaging the pelvic floor with the breath. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, engage the pelvic floor. Exhale, release. One more time, inhale, engage the pelvic floor. And exhale. So just kind of let the arms hang down. Let the shoulders hang down. And take one shoulder at a time. Lift up. Let it come forward. Okay? Let the shoulder come forward. And then round it up. And then draw it backwards. And so just beginning to become aware of what the shoulder feels like, what it's doing. How it feels as it moves forward versus moves back. Okay, just forward to back. And then let that fall. Feel. Start with that other arm. Let that hand fold down. And then very gently begin to roll it forward, up and back. And forward, up and back. And then maybe one more time and return in the other direction. And then let both shoulders fall. On the inhale, let the thighs be active. Let the pelvic floor be active. Immediately, that lower belly becomes active. And on the inhale, lift both shoulders up into the ears. Maybe connect a palm to an elbow, another palm into the other elbow, if it's comfortable for you. Don't forget to breathe. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. Take a deep breath in. And let the shoulders fall. Let the hands fall from the elbows if they're there. And take just one moment to let the right ear drop down to the right shoulder. We don't have to do anything other than allowing it to fall, allowing it to come down. Inhale, locate the lower belly, activate the pelvic floor, and lift that head to neutral. Let it come down to the other side. Deep breaths. Inhale to lift. One more rounding of the shoulders front, all the way up and back. A couple more rounds. Inhale and exhale. As you lift up, as you lift forward, up and back, once we reach back, take the moment to hold. If any strain through the neck, kind of give yourself a moment to breathe. If there's any pain, release always. But I'm going to turn around for you and let you see. You can even, if the body will allow today. You can connect the hands. You can connect the palms into elbows. But the idea continues to be the space between the center of the shoulder blades. That's the space we're engaging. Take one or two more breaths right where you're at. And we'll get into our warrior pose. As we step back, find that grounding in. The heel may, if the heel doesn't come down, maybe we bring the foot up just a little bit more. As the body begins to stretch out, you may find that you want to step back a little further, and that's fine. Once you find that stability in the feet, go ahead and bend into that front knee just slightly. The knee is stacked over the ankle. It doesn't reach over the toe. That puts a bit of pressure on the knee joint. So it's stacked over the ankle. That's a really easy identifier as to how far we go. It's either back or it's stacked. Take a breath. Notice the back heel. How does that feel? Is there any pull, any strain? There doesn't need to be. Step it forward if there is. But begin to activate those areas of the body that we've already covered. Start with the feet. Come to the ankles. Come to that inner thigh, that whole thigh of that front leg. And activate it. Engage it. Oh, that's a muscle, right? It's a new muscle right there. Then we have the pelvic floor. Lift that pelvic floor. Find those spaces. You're not doing it wrong, I promise. Wherever you're at in your body right now, if you are feeling your body, you are golden. Engage that pelvic floor. We feel the core become active. Let the hands hang down here for a moment. Right now, in this moment, that back psoas is lengthening. It's stretching out. If you want a little more stretch, step it back. Maybe open up that foot just a little wider. It's okay if the hips move a bit. But if you want a little more stretch there, right? Some may come back together and step back on the toe to get a little different stretch through the psoas. Just watch for the pelvic region. So that if the heel is down, we can feel it in that psoas. Maybe we walk the front foot up just a little bit. But we're stretching through that space of the lower body to upper body. Finding length. So let the hands hang down. Let the jaw release if we have found some tightness there. If we notice the tongue is plastered up against the roof of the mouth, bring it on down. Just let the body soften. Let the face soften. I'm going to step it forward just a little bit. We can come anywhere we need to be, folks, in our bodies. Hands hanging down on the inhale. The belly is active. Lift through the arms. Take a nice deep breath in. The arms lift. And on the exhale, draw those shoulder blades together behind you. And let the arms come down. Let's do it again. Inhale. Elbows bend. Draw those shoulder blades down. I'm going to show you from one more time in the opposite direction. Inhale. And exhale. All the way down. Maybe here we take the hands and place them up against the sacrum, up against the lower back. Maybe hands come together. You can lengthen a bit without locking. Inhale. Just feel the body soften. We're active. There's a lot of activity through the legs, through the thighs, through the hamstrings, hips, core, even chest. shoulder blades for sure. But can we take a couple deep breaths right here? Last one. On your time, let the hands go. Focusing on that front foot, we're gonna go ahead and press on up into it, standing position. You're gonna feel quite a difference from side to side. Take a moment to step it out a little bit, maybe lift up the legs, squat, right? Do a few of whatever your body needs in this moment, right? Maybe rock. And we'll go on and move to the other side. So when you're ready, take that opposite foot back. You'll know, right, immediately. Step it wherever it wants to go. Bend into that front knee, stacking it over the ankle. And begin to work from the feet up, just as we did when we were standing. Notice for a moment what the pelvic wants to do, what the hips want to do. And based on the patterns of your body, we're all going to be a little different. Front thigh is active. Back foot lands wherever it lands. Pelvic floor is lifted. Belly is active. We're going to take a couple breaths right into that place of shoulder blades. On your inhale, the arms hang down. When you're ready, we'll lift them up. And on the exhale, hinging from the elbows, shoulder blades come together all the way down. Inhale to lift. And exhale. Keeping those thighs active. Belly, pelvic floor. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Feel free to engage a little bit more if you'd like, or just let the arms hang down. Back of the hands, or hands can come onto that sacrum, lower back. They can also engage, and we can lengthen through the arms, through the chest. Lengthen the elbows without locking. Deep breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Relax the shoulders down. Let the arms go. And when you're ready, we're going to engage that front foot, engage that connection from sole of the foot to ground as we make our way forward. Find a little rock. Inhaling and exhaling. What an honor to be with you today. Thank you for joining me for Yoga for Beekeepers. I wish you great success and connection in your apiary.